Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 19 of Direwolf20's Let's Play, Season 3. And I'm just starting off today, charging up my jetpack. Just wanted to make sure that guy was nice and full. And I also want to step over to my Apiary and Buildcraft room. There's a couple things I did off camera between 18 and 19, and I just want to give you guys the heads up. First off, I was playing around with portals and discovered, I think I heard this from iChun. Here's a neat trick to use if you want to make sure a chunk is loaded and you've got a portal available in that chunk. Throw an item through. See how my item went through the portal? Everything's groovy. Now my apiary here, the items are also going through. So that means the chunk is loaded on the other side of the portal. Now if we had a chunk that was unloaded, the items would get stuck in the portal. So that's just a little FYI on chunk loading and how you can determine if it is. Now, right as I was wrapping up episode 18, and it was very hardly noticeable on camera, but if you guys paid real close attention to the last moments of the episode, you'll notice that my engines over here were orange, and I think they might have even been red for a moment on camera, and by the time I actually noticed it, they were very red. So I quickly shut off my control and luckily didn't have any explosions. And then I ran downstairs here and determined that this lake bed here had dried up entirely. Now that happens sometimes with chunk loading, and I'm not really sure what causes it, so I'm not entirely sure what the deal is there. So just for safety concerns, I wound up splitting up my blocks here. I have 3 engines here and 3 engines here, and that allows me to separate my my pipes, so that no longer is this like, one big piping system with 2 pumps. It's basically 2 piping systems separate. So that is one of the big changes I made. Another minor thing I did, again, not a big deal, but I had another control over here for my quarry, which allows me to turn my quarry on and off. So not a huge ordeal, just want to give you guys the heads up on that. You'll also note that I don't have control for my lasers just yet. I don't think I really need it. I did a little bit of testing off camera, and it looks like when the lasers don't have anything to do, they're not absorbing any power. So all I really need to do to turn off my lasers here is just unclick something. And now you'll notice that there's power flowing into the lasers, but in a moment you'll see it stopping, just like that. So that means that these guys are not drawing any energy from the system, so Buildcraft is okay with that, and it's not going to have a big problem. I can always go ahead and turn on my refinery now, and let's see what happens. Energy starts flowing in there. And you'll note that it's not quite getting enough to run smoothly. But in order to get that to happen, I can just turn off my quarry now, and hopefully more energy starts flowing in there. There we go. You can see I'm starting to speed up already. Sweet. So by turning off the quarry, we've now been able to get our refineries running at full speed, producing more fuel for us. But if I turn my quarry back on, there's not enough energy across the system to power both machines at full power, so there's just an FYI for you guys. So I was just playing around with Buildcraft stuff for the time being, and everything looks to be running smoothly now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing back on to produce some more iron and gates. How are we doing? We've got 4 of them. Good. I'm going to be using a lot of gates going forward. Those things are really cool, and there's a lot of neat stuff I want to use with them. Now let's sneak through here to our apiary and see how our queens are doing. I got a forest princess and a forest drone here. And I've got a common forest princess and a common forest drone and a common drone. Cool. Let's go ahead and combine this guy with this guy and see what happens. Common forest princess with common forest drone. Got me a common forest queen. Alright, neat. And forest princess and common drone. And at this point I'm still kind of blindly jumping around, hoping I get lucky and find, oh cool, common forest queen. Alright. Kind of hoping to find a neat new combination to use, but eventually I'll probably start being a little bit more intelligent about it. What did I do over here? I don't think I activated any kind of power disabling stuff. So this guy's still just running full blast ahead, everything's running smooth. So that's a good recap of everything that I did off camera. Basically just added the lever for the quarry. Not a big deal, you guys saw me do that like, 3 other times. Just used wireless redstone. And then separated these things. So today, let's get to building. Let's see, what else is going on? I noticed in my overflow chest I'm starting to get good amounts of obsidian, so I must have hit a little bit of an underground lake. And you guys might have noticed off camera, or on camera, I think I discovered there was a nice supply of water showing up. So that water is quickly turning the lava bed into obsidian and taking care of that stuff for me. So that's good to know. What I want to do is just indicate that obsidian should go down this light blue path. So let's see, I think another piece just came through there. You can see it, they're still going down the white path, but we'll have to wait until we get some more obsidian, but they'll start heading down blue now, and they'll land in this chest along with all my other goodies. And look at this, I've got a sapling hanging out in here. I wonder if that's one that I placed in, or if I'm starting to get enough saplings in my forestry system to, you know, warrant that. And my industrial craft chest has good amounts of scrap building up. I'm going to have to start doing something with that. I'm not sure if I want to do that in this episode or not, but probably pretty soon. Alright guys, I'm just heading over to my farm for a few minutes here, doing a little bit of maintenance work. Farms do tend to take a lot of bit of work, so just kind of doing what I can to keep this stuff well organized and properly maintained and all that good stuff. I am planting up some seeds and whatnot, just to make sure. Actually, I want to clean these guys up altogether. I don't want to have these down just at the moment, because I want to make sure I've got a good amount of wheat for what I'm about to start working on. I think I've got a good handful. Not, you know, a ton or anything, but enough to get me going. And I'll leave all these goodies in here for now. Maybe I want to grab just a couple more crops here and try my hand at crossbreeding just a bit, some more. See if I can get anything nice going on. And in the meantime, I'm going to get building on an item that I'm going to use back in my apiary. So I've been collecting all these honeycombs, and you guys might be starting to wonder what's the use of all this stuff that we're collecting for our beekeeping. Well, the early bees produce honeycombs, as you've seen, and they definitely have a lot of cool stuff that they can make. But the more advanced bees that are harder to get, they're not, you know, quite so useful. They're actually awesome. What they'll do is produce stuff like resin and a couple other cool things that I can use for both industrial craft and build craft and all kinds of other goodies. So, but for now, let me just get situated with what I want to grab. I need some food, so I'm going to grab a piece of iron here. I think I discovered that iron is worth a good amount of food earlier. There we go, cooked chicken, that'll work. And then let's run over to our apiary. I really got to do something about my hunger issues here soon. So what I'm going to craft now over at my apiary is the thing that we use to process all these goodies. There we go. So let's grab our Philosopher's Stone and start crafting. Now I brought some bronze ingots because of course I'm going to need one of these sturdy machines, the foundations for almost any forestry objects. And then put a couple pieces of glass and some copper around, and we've got our centrifuge. And this is the guy that's going to wind up doing all the work with these bees and the stuff they produce. And I'm also grabbing a golden power transfer pipe, a golden conductive pipe, and I'm going to get a power teleport pipe here, because this centrifuge does need to be powered. And for now, I think what I'm going to do is just lay down my centrifuge right here. That looks good. And I'll dig down underneath and get ready to run some power to it. I don't think I need anything to go in the bottom slot of my centrifuge. Probably not. So let's just move this stuff right here. I'm going to place down my power teleport pipe on frequency 1 as usual, but I won't connect power to it yet. I'll leave the receiving piece false for now. Maybe I'll just keep this at frequency 2. That might be a better plan just for the moment. And I'll go grab some of these honeycombs that we've gotten, and I'll just throw them right here. Okay? So now let's turn on the power, frequency 1. You can see the power flowing in. And the centrifuge is going to start doing its thing. And it's going to process all these honeycombs. And the honeycombs are going to convert into a couple different items, actually, will come out of these. Let's see what we get first. Takes just a few seconds to process this honeycomb. There we go, a honey drop. That's pretty cool. And we also got some beeswax. Beeswax is some good stuff. First off, I can use it, just place it in your crafting table to make pipe waterproofing, which is used to waterproof pipes, of course. So that's pretty neat. Now the other use of it is, as you can see here, wax capsules. These guys can store about a bucket's worth of liquid inside the wax capsule. And you can store almost any kind of liquid in there. You can see that you can get catalyst in there. And you can also use your honey drops for catalyst. Or ambrosia, honey pot. I don't know exactly what these items are for. But if we look in NEI here real quick, we'll notice that capsules can pretty much store any liquid. So water, biomass, biofuel, oil, and fuel. All the forestry liquids and buildcraft liquids, etc., etc. So that's pretty much what your liquids are used for, your beeswax. And our honey drops are used mostly to build catalysts, and they also have a function for bread. If we surround a piece of bread with honey drops, we get this honey-eyed slice, which is the reason I started working on my wheat production. This stuff is pretty good. And glistening melons, which are also pretty good. I need to get myself some melon seeds eventually. Got to track some down. And short mead, which you're going to need some honeydew for as well. And this stuff is produced from the more advanced bees, so we'll get around to working on that in the future. But for now, I'm going to let these honey drops build up, and I'll be back in a little bit once I've got enough of them. Now I'm quickly going to run over to my transmutation table because there's an item I want to get. Let's throw our Klein star in there, and you can see we've got a good amount of EMC stored in. I'm just going to pull out an alchemical chest. Only worth 9,000 EMC, really. Maybe even a little less than that. I forget what it was. We looked at it the other episode. But that guy is going to be part of my storage system here. And, I think I'm going to need a couple redstone engines. So why don't we go ahead and request some of those guys. I like to watch the items flow through my pipe sometimes, so let's go request it in here. I'm going to go ahead and shoot for, I don't know, let's just request 4 of them. That should be a good number. And we should get a bunch of items starting to flow through the pipes. What else will I need? Redstone engines will work for now. And I should probably at some point consider putting one of those cool things in my apiary so that I can grab items whenever I need. We'll see what kind of situation we get into. If I'm spending a lot of time out there in the apiary, maybe that'll be a good idea. So I'll meet you guys back over there, and we'll start building. Alright, so real quick I'm going to do my bee crossbreeding stuff here. Let's see, I got some common forest drones and queens. Let's see about, I'll just breed them with themselves for now. I don't think I'll get anything nice out of that combination, but we'll see. Just got a regular common queen. Alright, that makes sense. So we'll throw these guys in here for now. And let's start building up a nice little system to pump all these good honeycombs out of here. So what we should probably first do is see what side of the object here we need to pump things out of. Alright guys, so basically what I want to do here is take some of my engines that we just made, and I'm going to combine them with some redstone torches. That's going to cause the engines to run endlessly, as you're aware. So I'll place that guy down there, and this guy right here like that. Then I'm going to place down some wooden transport pipes. But maybe I don't want to quite have this engine running just yet. So I'm just going to actually turn that guy off for now. I'll place down my wooden transport pipe like that. And you can see the closed end is on this thing, indicating that's the side it's going to be outputting from. And for now, I don't think I grabbed any of my smooth stone pipes, so let's make a couple real quick. There we go, that'll work. And I can just run this guy right like so. And yeah, I'm making a big old mess of my forestry stuff, but that's alright. Not too concerned about that. I might consider running these pipes under the ground at some point. I'm debating if I want to do that now. Let me think that over for a minute. You know what? I think I do. I think I do want to run these things under the ground. Why have this big ugly piping system up above ground like this when I could easily run it underground? So let's do that. However, there's one minor problem with that. The apiary, we can only pull the output blocks, these honeycombs, out of the sides of the apiary. We can't pull them out from the bottom or top. But don't worry, we have a mod that solves that problem for us. And that mod is called Sneaky Pipes. So the sneaky pipes right here, recipe shown, 2 wooden pipes around some redstone, and I actually crafted some a moment ago. So I've got them in my bag right here. There we go, sneaky pipes. These guys allow you to basically pull items out of any slot in the inventory that you're looking at, regardless of where the pipe is placed. So how about I go sleep through the night real fast here, and I'll be right back. There we go, much better. So what I'm going to do with the sneaky pipes is place them on the bottom of this thing. Right like so. Okay, now the sneaky pipe works as a wooden pipe and allows you to extract from whatever side you want or insert from whatever side you want. So insert we'll leave default for now. I'm not going to worry about insertion. But extraction, we want to pretend like we're extracting from the side of the item rather than the default, which is right now the bottom because the pipe is on the bottom. So if this were default, it would be pulling out the bottom, which won't work for us. However, we can extract out the side, and that's going to pull out our honeycombs, which is exactly what we want. Now we are going to get these princesses and drones getting pulled out of here, and I'm not going to worry about that just yet. In the future I might, but for now I think I'm alright with that. So let's get out of this hole real fast, and I'm going to place down right here, nope, missed, right there, my redstone engine. Perfect. That'll start pumping out. So this redstone engine will be a little bit visible here, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Meanwhile, I'm going to just dig directly over here. And I'll just clean all this mess up in the future. I pretty much want to pull my pipes up through here. I've heard a couple people say that there's sometimes bugs running item transport pipes next to power teleport pipes. So just to avoid any possible problems with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe just move this thing. That might be a better idea. So let's dig through the wall here. Let me get out my chainsaw, which I know you guys are all very happy I built. And I'm just going to move my power teleport pipes out the back. Oh boy, inventory problems as usual. This is what happens whenever you start building some cool stuff. You start running into problems with your inventory. And I know there's mods out there to adjust your inventory, but oh well, what are you going to do? I'm going to go ahead and place down this guy here, this thing here, frequency 1 receiving true, power should be flowing in again, and everybody's happy once more. And I'll place down my wooden planks, just to close this guy up. Perfect, much better. So now I can run this thing right up through here. So let's go find our way over to our sneaky pipes. There they are, nice and sneaky. And what I'm just going to do is just run it over here to this. So all I have to do is grab my stone transport pipes, straight down here, like so. And if everything's connected right, once I turn on that redstone engine, it'll start pulling honeycombs out of this thing. It'll also pull the bees, but I'm not worried about that, like I said. And it'll start throwing them right here into this centrifuge, which is currently working on honeycombs. So let's see what's going to happen when we do that. That might present a little bit of a problem because we're going to have way more honeycombs, right now at least, than our centrifuge can keep up with. This thing's not running at a particularly fast speed. Might be that I'm not giving it quite enough power because I've got that quarry and those lasers running back at the buildcraft room. But for now, I think we'll be alright. What I'm also going to do is place down a chest right here. That's the reason I grabbed that chest. And if I place a wooden transport pipe right here, and directly under that, I'm going to place my redstone torch and my redstone engine. There we go. Now you'll note that the darkened side is against the chest. So right now it thinks that it's trying to pull items out of the chest and place them inside the centrifuge, which is obviously not what we want. We want this to be the storage place for all the items the centrifuge creates. So I'm just going to hit that with the wrench. Now every time we get a pulse of energy, it's going to start pulling items out, which is exactly what we wanted to see. Beautiful. So now we've got some beeswax and some honey drops hanging out right there. That looks good. So there's one further consideration that we should have, and that's what's going to happen when I try and put items inside the centrifuge and there's nowhere for them to go. Buildcraft pipes are not going to be too happy about that. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, that's okay. So what I'm going to have to wind up doing is setting up a routing system here to make sure that any items that can't fit in our centrifuge for the time being wind up inside this chest and then get pulled back out and attempted to place back in the centrifuge. And you know what, guys? I'm starting to consider some issues with this system. Not only will this guy overflow with honeycombs, and it's going to require a lot of magic routing and craziness, but also I'm going to start pulling my common drones. I just tested with my princess here. My princesses and drones will get pulled out of this system, which is really not what I want, because they'll get thrown into this centrifuge here. Now, obviously, I could do something with some diamond pipes, but I'm not ready for that yet. There's a special type for handling bees, and that's called the Apiaries pipe, but I need some more advanced bee versions until I can go ahead and do that. So for now, I'm going to look at this a totally different approach. Instead of using sneaky pipes, I don't even need this guy anymore. let's get that off there. What I'm going to go ahead and use is logistics pipes. Now logistics pipes is going to make it a little bit easier for me. All I really need to do here, and I have to get my Philosopher's Stone. First off, I'm going to need to create a provider pipe. And then I'm also going to need to create a supplier pipe. And that should be good for now. So let's see, this guy was the provider, right? So why don't I put the provider pipe on this guy here. And then I'm going to put my stone transport pipe to connect these things. And I'll make this thing over here a supplier pipe. That'll be good. So the purpose of this now is that the provider pipe and the supplier pipe are going to start providing the honeycombs out of here. And all I have to do is tell the supplier pipe, let me just grab a honeycomb real quick for this purpose. Go ahead and keep, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these guys stocked at all times. And I'll say partial requests is allowed. So yes for that. What that means is if there's only 1 honeycomb sitting over there, it'll go ahead and pull it in. It won't pull in all 6. But the items to keep stocked will keep 6 at all times. Why not? And what should happen is right now, this thing's saying, oh yeah, I'm good. But if I pull these honeycombs out of here, pretty much once it reaches a point where it doesn't have 6, it's going to start pulling honeycombs out of that thing and processing them. And every few seconds, it's just going to keep trying and trying until it gets the 6 honeycombs that it needs. So I think that's a good approach. What this also means is I can cover everything up with dirt and not have to worry about the redstone engines and all that other craziness. So it's a lot more nicer looking. Now the only other thing I'm going to have to do, speaking of covering stuff back up with dirt, is sneak over to here and find, hey, there it is. Lucky me. I'm going to have to go ahead and get another provider pipe because I want to provide out of this system as well. And hopefully my centrifuge won't have too much of a problem keeping up with things. Now there's one important thing I have to do here. Remember, this is an intersection now once I add this pipe. And this intersection then needs to be, you guessed it, a basic logistics pipe. So now, see how it's an intersection? We've got green arrows everywhere. So that's saying to us, yeah, we hooked everything up right. So now that we've got this nifty little intersection, I can climb out of the ground again. And now both of my apiaries are going to be providing honeycombs to my centrifuge. Perfect. And as soon as I pull that stack out, it's going to go ahead and request from the nearest available inventory, I guess. That's the way it works. So now everything's nice and good. And I might need to get myself another centrifuge in the future because it looks like one is really not going to be able to keep up with all this stuff. So maybe eventually I'll get a new one. But yeah, the logistics pipes definitely made this a little bit easier. So for now, I'm going to wrap this segment up. I'll start producing a bunch of beeswax and honeydew. Why don't I go clean up my inventory a bit, and I'll be back to do something with these honeydews that I just got. So there was a good example, guys, where you can do things a lot of different ways, and it's fun to figure out the most efficient and the cleanest way to do it. And I think the provider and supplier pipes were probably the most efficient way. So now that I've got all these nifty honey drops, let's go ahead and craft something with them. I already showed you guys that you can combine it with bread, so let's do that. I'm going to grab some bread here, and just surround that bread with honey drops. There we go, honeyed slice. Nice. I'm going to wait until my hunger bar drops a little bit, because I honestly don't even know how much that's going to fill back up. And I'll put the rest of my honey sliced honey drops here. Maybe I'll put them in miscellaneous junk for now, but maybe eventually I'll store them in that forestry chest over here. Though at this point, I'm getting a lot of wood. Holy cow, that's a lot. Yep, at some point my tree farm is probably going to get turned off until I have a need for it again. But for now, we're in good shape. So let's head back to our apiary here and just see that everything's running smooth. Yep, centrifuge has 6 honey slices in it, and this guy's doing its thing. And let's go ahead and start trying to breed some more drones and princesses again, because I'm not having any luck with this. None at all. So let me just grab, what kind of drones do I got? That'll work for now. Alright, I went ahead and went with a forest and a common princess here. Let's see if we get any luck. Common forest. Oh well, I'm going to keep hoping I get some good stuff. And this guy, I just took one of my meadows queens that I had in my chest over here and dropped them in. We're going to see what kind of luck we get in the future going along here. I just happened to notice here that my chest is no longer filling up with goodies, so I'm guessing that my quarry has finished running for the time being. And that's probably a good time for me to set up a new thing that I want to do on that quarry pipe. So let's real quick just do something like this real fast. I'm just going to set up a portal in here so I can get back easily. And I'm going to go visit my quarry, which of course is a good run away, but that's alright. Maybe I should have put up a portal system to my quarry. Maybe not. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be running quarries here. I think I'm doing pretty good on resources already. But for now, I'm doing alright. We'll see. So is my quarry still going, or is it done? It's definitely not moving. I wonder if it's a power issue? Interesting, there's no power flowing through here. Maybe I'm stealing all the power for my centrifuge. Let's run over to our buildcraft room and see what's happening over there. Yeah, there's definitely power going through these things. And this guy's not even running anymore. Interesting. Well, since I'm running around looking at what my problems are, now's a good time, I guess, to eat some bread. Oh yeah, look at that. I get a lot of goodies from that. So that bread is very powerful. That's going to last me a while, I guess. Nice, man. I'm excited about that. So let's see what's going on with our power here. I'm thinking the problem is that my power transport is just going so far away from these engines. Power teleport pipes do lose energy over a distance, and the fact that I'm teleporting power all the way over to my quarry, which is actually very far away from my main area, and I'm sending power all the way over to my apiary here, might be a bit of a problem. I mean, these things are really quite far away from my engines, and that might be the issue that's causing this thing to run a bit slow, as well as some other issues. So what I'm considering here is moving this centrifuge system way back over here into my buildcraft room. That might be a smart move on my part, because it'll mean the power from my buildcraft engines doesn't have to travel quite so far to get to my centrifuge. And maybe the next quarry I build will be a little bit closer to that as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. For now, what I think I'm going to do is maybe just relocate this guy. It's not going to be a terribly hard thing to do. All I got to do is, pretty much have these guys do the request system into a teleport pipe, and then have the supplier hooked up to a teleport pipe, and the centrifuge can hang out there. So for now, how about I turn this thing off real quick. Just going to knock this thing off there. That's going to be a lot easier. Going to pull the honeycombs out. And I'm going to grab my chainsaw to get through this wall. There it is. And I guess the true test of whether this is the issue or not will occur right now, because I'm about to see what happens with my quarry. So let's run back to my quarry and see what's going on. There we go. Power flowing in this time? Maybe not. Not just yet, at least. Okay, so where's all my power going? Still going over frequency 1. Maybe switch this guy to 2 and then back to 1. Interesting. Let me try and resolve this off camera and see what's going on, because for the time being, I'm a little confused as to where all my power is going. Alright, so what I'm thinking is maybe the quarry is just not pulling power in because it has no work to do, and the best way to determine if that's the case is to jump down there and see how far my quarry has gone. If it reached bedrock, then yeah, we're done. We don't have to worry about our quarry anymore. But in order for me to jump down there, I'm going to need a way to get back up, and I think it's time for me to build an electric jetpack. This guy's pretty cool. So I'm going to need a bat box, which we know how to make, a couple pieces of glowstone, refined iron, and oh, I'm going to need an advanced circuit. Alright, so let's get the resources we need for that real fast. I'm going to get 4 of these guys, or no, just 2 of you. I believe I've got some redstone and glowstone on me. So we'll get a couple of you guys, 4 of you guys. That looks good. I'll run over to my crafting bench here and grab my electronic circuit. And in the future, I'm probably going to wind up getting a automatic logistics pipe system for circuits. But for now, we're all right. So there's my advanced circuit. And I'm also going to need a bat box. Let me remember the recipe for this thing is, yeah, 3 batteries. All right, good to know. So let's move this stuff off of here. And get some tin going on. one of you, and one of you. So 3 batteries. That looks good. And what else will I need? Just some wood, I think. Which, I don't have any wood on me, so I'm going to have to go get some. Luckily, I've got a nice surplus of wood at the moment, don't I? Oh yeah, plenty of that stuff, not going to worry. So let's go with our regular crafting table here, and I can craft this guy right up like this. Alright, so I just need 1 of you, and I'm going to need 4 of these things. There we go, bat box. And let's throw this recipe in here just so I don't forget it. Something I tend to do a lot is forget recipes. Hey, electric jetpack, look at that. Now this guy will not use your energy out of your bat pack, because obviously you have to put it in the same slot as your bat pack. So I got to charge this guy up. Then we're going to go visit our quarry again and go jump into it. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so running over to my forestry, to my quarry here, I'm going to place my jetpack on my back and go for a jump. Now last time I did this in my last series I died, so let's see how far we can get before having an issue. Hopefully I can survive long enough to get to the bottom of this thing. Oh yeah, I do shoot up pretty fast because I have the jetpack on. Maybe it would be wise for me to do something like this. Did I get it? I think I got it. I just placed a block on my water source block, and that's going to start draining all the water out of this area, at least until we find another source block, which might look like it's right about here. There we go, hover mode. Turned on hover mode for my backpack, or for my jetpack, and this nice little mode just makes you fly a little bit slower, basically, and it's not so crazy. There we go, just placed another block covering up a water source block, and let's see how this thing goes now. Oh yeah, looks like we're getting some water clearing. Hey, neat little natural cave system here. I like the looks of that. So how about I let all this water drain, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, well there's the answer to the problem. It was not a power supply problem after all. I hit bedrock, which is cool. And there's even a nice little creeper hanging out down there. Looks like there was a noticeably large amount of cave systems that I just dug through here. Look at this, there's just tons of caves everywhere. And as you can see, I even found myself some diamond, which I'm definitely going to take advantage of if I can manage to dig through here. It's a little bit hard to dig while flying, but if you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. Sweet. Diamond and gold. I won't pass that up. So, what I'm probably going to do is, I'm not sure if I want to hold off on, you know, running this guy or not. And look, there's even another set of diamonds over here. Wow, nice. I wonder if my quarry actually picked up any of these diamonds that it was digging through, or if I just happened to get lucky and find them all on the sides. But, looking good. Even a creeper down there hanging out. So for now, how about I turn off hover mode and start flying up faster. There we go, and it's M on your keyboard, the letter M as in Michael. And we'll hover our way back down. Notice when you're not holding the space bar to fly, you will not crash land into the ground like that with hover mode on. So I can collect these pipes, don't need them anymore. Knock off this quarry, don't need him. Or even this thingy. And inventory is an issue. What a surprise. Let's just throw some pipes in here for now. I should grab my, rehook up my supplier system. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll go hook that thing back up in my main area. So let's grab this guy and this guy. I'm probably just going to do that off camera for now. I'm going to leave the Apiary system back out here. I'm not going to worry too much about its presence this far away from the main power supply issue. If it is becoming an issue in the future, maybe I will, but for now I'm going to hook it back up. So let's just lay these guys down here. I also, by the way, like middle of this episode, went ahead and upgraded. I was talking to Sengir, and he mentioned that the version I was on, 1.3.2.1, maybe was it? What version am I on here? Yeah, I was on 1320 and now I'm on 1321. The difference is that 1320, the centrifuge used a lot more power than it would have in the new version. So he basically tweaked the power usage of the centrifuge. So if you're on forestry 1320, go ahead and bump it up to 1321. And I'll tell this guy to keep 6 honeycombs in stock at all times. And it should request that any moment now. And I feel like this is a pretty good wrapping up point for this episode. So this is Direwolf20's signing off. Oh yeah, look at that. That thing's moving a little bit faster than it was a bit before, wasn't it? Oh yeah, definitely noticeably faster. Direwolf20's signing off on episode 19 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Hope you guys enjoyed checking it out. Next episode, I might replant my quarry, or maybe I'll do something a little bit different. For now, I'm not sure if I need a quarry running just yet. Though I might replace it eventually, we'll see. Take it easy, guys. Alright guys, I'm just interjecting here real quick to mention that I went ahead right as I finished up the episode and combined a common princess with a forest drone or something like that, and I got a common cultivated queen, so that's pretty cool. Cultivated is the next tier up of queen, and once this guy finishes doing its work, I'm going to come back and check it out. This guy turned into a common forest queen, which was not quite as exciting, but I just discovered a new species of queen. Hooray! Alright, signing off for real this time. This is Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.